Yeah, it's not an accident or even a surprise that after the election in Brazil, Bannon was out there undermining the integrity of that election, and the same almost carbon copy rhetoric that he used after our 2020 election, calling into question the legitimacy, calling into question the voting machines that were used in the Brazil election. He met with the Sun at Mar-a-Lago. And I just want to remind everybody that none of this is surprising. Steve Bannon himself said, quote, "Lenin wanted to destroy the state, and that's my goal too." He is a self-described Leninist. What he wants is anarchy. What he wants is violence. What he wants is to tear down the pillars of any government establishment, not just in the United States of America, but anywhere in the world. He wants it to spread, and that's what's happening. And it's not an accident that these actors, bad actors, take their cues, learn the lesson from Steve Bannon, from Donald Trump, from the extremists in the Republican Party in this country, and they're trying to duplicate that elsewhere.
You know, and Eugene, it isn't like George, an insult. Oh, go on. Yeah.
No, I was just going to say, let's just point out that in both cases, in both the United States and in Brazil, this attempt to delegitimize the election started before the election. The claims that if I lose, it is rigged. Bolsonaro made the same claim that Donald Trump.
Well, right. And Eugene, I wanted you to sort of zoom it out a little bit because, Steve Bannon, who many people didn't pay much attention to, when he was the head of Breitbart, saying he was going to make it the home of the alt-right, which is the new version of, the racist right. They redefined, what used to be, Ku Klux Klanism as, alt-right, whatever. No one paid much attention to him, but he has been running all over Europe trying to sell this idea, selling it as Brexit, selling it, in this country, selling it in places like Brazil. So he's been kind of hawking this brand globally. And the frightening thing is there are pieces of this, whether it's in Hungary or in Brazil or in the U.S., it's really a contagion that's spreading around the world.
It is a contagion, and it's affecting different countries in different ways. But, the far right one in Italy, the far right is gaining in Sweden. I mean, it's happening a lot of places, and this populism, the playbook involves using sort of populist anger or stoking populist anger against things like immigration, against things like the system or those people who are somehow oppressing you. It's stoking grievance, and again, it's very effective. I mean, it is effective, and it is a transnational phenomenon. And it's one that we need not only to pay attention to, but to actively work against, because it is actively working against democracy.
Yeah, and and Kurt, the fact that you now have Bolsonaro holed up in the United States, in Florida, which does then potentially, if there's some sort of an extradition, if he is somehow legally implicated in what happened, it does create kind of an international incident here that then becomes bigger than just this joke of a former president whining and eating KFC in Florida. And so if you could talk just a little bit about, the Florida of it is also a piece of it. This has become a movement that is emanating from the United States. It's not just coming to the United States.
Yeah, apparently this brand of domestic terrorism is an export of the United States and an export of the Republican Party. And there's a reason why the hideout for some of these bad actors is to go to Ron DeSantis's and Donald Trump's Florida. That's where they're going. So that tells you everything you need to know about why they've chosen Florida and places like Mar-a-Lago as safe haven. At this point, Mar-a-Lago is nothing more than just a front for a criminal enterprise designed to undermine democracy worldwide. That's what's happening right now.